This is the yarn Swift hack for measuring yardage. Alright, here is your hack supply list. You will need a string that will not stretch or twine, one button, permanent marker, tape measure, clothespin, tapestry needle or dental floss, and scissors. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take the string, make a loose loop at one end, and secure it with a knot. The loop has to be big enough for your button to fit through. Let's get started. So here is my thread, some baker's twine. I'm going to make a little loop at one end. So I'm going to make myself a little loopy loop. And I'm going to make sure my button will fit through that loop before I secure it. All right, sweet, it will. Now you don't have to use a button that big. I did it just so it was easier to see. All right, fits through. Okay. Next. From the top of the loop, I'm going to measure the length of the yarn I want to measure. So if you have a regular to small size Swift, you're going to use 1 yard, which is 36 inches. If you have a large or extra large Swift, you're going to measure for 2 yards, which is 72 inches. And then you're going to mark the string with the permanent marker. So I have a small to medium size Swift, so I'm going to measure 36 inches. So I'm going to start with my large measuring stick. I'm going to put the loop, do you see that at the very tip of the loop at the very end? And I'm going to go all the way to 36 inches. Ta-da! All right, and I'm going to get my handy dandy Sharpie. And I'm going to mark it, Picasso it. Ta-da! Beautiful, absolutely fabulous artwork. Check it out. Oh, and that's stunning. I'm so impressed myself. So don't forget to mark it. Super importante. Next, after you've marked the string with the marker, you add a couple of extra inches and then cut the string. So here I go. I'm going to add a couple of extra inches. And I'm going to cut it. Oh, just kidding. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Be careful of your body parts. And cut the string. There you go. Next, I'm going to thread it through my handy tapestry needle. You can also use dental floss, which is really easy to use as well. It depends on what you'd like to use, what you're most comfortable with. So using a tapestry needle, thread the string through the button holes. Now thread the yarn through until the mark, that Sharpie mark, is between the 2 button holes. So see, I go through one hole, the second hole, take my tapestry needle off. There's the mark. Turn it over, and I'm going to tie a knot to fasten it. Now the reason why we say to put the mark in between the 2 holes is because it'll happen every time. As you go to do that knot, it'll slide over a little bit. It just keeps it as tight as possible to being as close to measurement as possible. So as close to 36 inches for me as possible. So there's that. All right, now we secure the button and with a double knot. And I write the number of the yards on the back of the button for reference. So that way I can find it later and I know exactly what I have. Now we're going to set up the Swift next.